Hello, folks. Happy Wednesday to you. That was kind of cool. I was blurry there a minute as it started, and then it almost like unblurred. It zoomed in. It faded in and focused. It was kind of cool. Anyway, sorry, that caught my attention. Happy Wednesday. Folks, I hope it's going well for you. Hope you're off to a good start. I'm going to get my chat ready to go. Put my phone on Do Not Disturb, which I should have done before stream. There we go. Okay. Sorry, TikTok was throwing a weird error, but we're good to go. Let's get that YouTube and TikTok chat merged together, which should be done just about now. All right. Let's give it a test. Didn't work. Doesn't look like it worked. Raffi, Carmatic, welcome in, folks. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Y'all, it's Wednesday already. How is it Wednesday? Someone explain that to me, please. How is it Wednesday? I mean, look, objectively, it's a good thing because we're just that much more close to Friday. But how is it Wednesday? All right. Chat, you working now? There it is. There it is. All right. Chat's online. We are online. Y'all, let's have fun today, huh? What's everybody doing? What are you up to? You got good plans today? My plan is to resize this window, which is not letting me do. Come on, baby. There it is. What a weird issue. Jack Ann, welcome in. Happy Wednesday to you. Raffi, you said I might nap during the sprints today. Did you not get any sleep last night, my dude? There it is. Okay, finally got that window resized. Oh, that was annoying me. Poison, welcome in. Simp1X, your plans are work. That's no fun. I'm sorry about that, bud. I hope it goes easy. Hope it's not too bad. Raffi, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that you can say something like busy dreams lately, and we know what you're talking about. Ain't community awesome? Oh boy. Well, y'all, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. We are continuing. Poison says Raffi has Velcro eyes. Yeah, it's a good description. That's a very good description. Y'all, we're continuing the push to launching Wriggly Little Hands here in a couple days. Whew, I guess I said I was excited to get to Friday, but it also means we're that much closer to the launch, and oh, there's so much to do. But that's all right. We're going to get it out there one way or another. We'll have that book launch. It's going to be a good time. Bert, good morning, my friend. Hello, hello. Poison, let's go with the green hearts for Wriggly Little Hands. Yeah. My chosen emoji for the book. Phoenix, you said, so what am I writing now? Hey, buddy. Thanks for being here. Happy Wednesday. What I'm writing now is, I don't have a cover for it yet, but we're doing a little novella for Wriggly Little Hands, a little prequel story for it. Gonna come out, for free, just like Thief of Honor. Just be an appetizer for the book. Let people see if they like the world. And yeah, I should have the cover for it pretty soon. Maybe this week, I'm thinking. But for now, we just put up the Wriggly Little Hands cover in answer to that question. It is entitled A Wriggly Little Assistant. It's going to be a good one, y'all. I am in love with the cover brief that I gave the artist. And it's the same artist that did the paperback. So, the book cover in general is for all formats, audio, ebook, and paperback. Anayat, you said, did you hear there's a writing competition opening soon? I didn't. I presume there's typically a lot of them opening soon, but is this one something specific? Something, tell me about it. I'd love to know. Poison, you said you should go on Fiverr and have different artists make you a Wriggly Little Hands character. Do people still use Fiverr? Yeah, I think they do. As far as I know, they do. I've heard of people doing that, just kind of sourcing a whole bunch of work from Fiverr and picking what stands out the best. Rafi, I presume you tried to send a message and TikTok censored it. You put it in general chat under writing craft. Let me check. I'm pulling it up here. And hold, please. There we go. Man, I don't want to make cookie decisions on stream. I don't need people judging my cookie choices. I've not heard of the Novelry before. Part of our mission to bring fresh new voices to the world of storytelling. I've not heard of this contest before, but there are a lot of them out there. At the Novelry, we're all about getting people writing fiction. Hey, that sounds familiar. We help people find their story and stay with it. Interesting. Well, thank you, Anayat. Thank you for sharing that. I will look into it more after stream. Baum, I'm glad that you understand the fear of people judging your cookie decisions. Casey Brow 149, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. I'm glad you like the music. Thanks for stopping by. It's we're trying to go for just a cozy, chill music, something a little fun. I'm glad it sounds good. Thanks for popping in. Well, y'all, boy, we know what we're doing. It's a writing stream today. We've been working on the novella for Wriggly Little Hands. But what have y'all been working on? Y'all tell me. I know we've had a couple folks that have been writing along, working on various stories. What have you been doing? Let me know, folks. And then maybe we just jump into a writing sprint straight away today. I don't know. This is your stream too, so you let me know what you're interested in doing. We could just hit start on our 5-minute timer and get on to writing, but if you got questions about anything or you want to share what you've been working on, please let me know. And Casey Brown, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. That's super kind of you. Thanks for stopping by. Simp1X, you asked, can I show you how I set up my Google Docs? Sure, I can. It's nothing particularly crazy. If we go into my Google Drive, I don't know, we'll just grab Wriggly Little Hands and go to the story. Here's the master manuscript file that just has everything in it. I just do. So what I typically would do is when writing. Why is it not here? I must have moved it. But typically, what I would do is I just create a new document for every chapter, and I just write double space 14-point font in there, and then I paste it into this document, which is going to have just, chapter header at the beginning, then double spaced words till the end of the chapter, and then I make those headings so I can click through here and just pop to all the chapters in the book. So yeah, nothing too crazy there. Pretty simple. That's really all I do. I like to keep things simple. The simpler they are, the better I operate. Harpy, hello, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Good to have you here. Oh, y'all, I'm getting excited now. Stream's rocking and rolling. Like, we're here, we're moving, the coffee's hot, I'm ready to go. Baum, you said, I want to try making a murder mystery series, so I'm world building right now. Ooh, exciting, exciting. Tell us about the world. Tell us something fun about it. What's got you excited in there? Anayat, you said, I'm working on my anthology submission, the one about the sun disappearing from Earth. Right. Yeah, you've been working on that one. Rock on. I hope it's going well, making progress on it. If you get stuck on anything, as always, let us know. Oh, Simp1X, you meant like margins and stuff for my Google Docs? I don't even know what my margins are. Whatever the standard is, I suppose. I've not worried about it. When it comes to, if you're looking at like formatting a book, I run it through a separate program for that. So, I mean, I don't even know what my margins are in Google Drive, Google Docs. Is it under format? Oh, you know what? You know why I don't know? I do know, actually, and it's because I write on, what is it called? It's under page setup, pageless. I write in pageless instead of page mode, and I like that a lot better than paged. So that's why I don't know my margins, because there aren't any margins. It's just a flush page all the way through. Rafi, you said, honestly, I want to hear what everyone else is writing. You don't have a weird story? Yeah, I don't know. I second that, Rafi. Let us know, folks. Throw it out. Baum, you're working on town name lore. Founder thought Biolume jellyfish was drowned banshee. Interesting. I imagine there's a part 2 coming there, or maybe not. Bioluminescent. The founder thought bioluminescent jellyfish was a drowned banshee. That's interesting. So is that tie into the name, I'm assuming, is where you're going with that? Hey, rock on. I love ideas like that. You never know where inspiration comes from. I actually had a moment last night. Erin was reading through Wriggly Little Hands, and she got to one of the city names, and she's like, oh, is this city name a reference to something? And I had to stop and think about it, and I was like, actually, I think that city name was a stand-in that I selected in the moment so I could keep my writing pace going, and then I never returned and actually put conscious thought into it. It was just like whatever city name that I had picked in the moment, and somehow it made it all the way through the editing process without me ever going back and making it meaningful. So we'll see if y'all can guess which place name in Wriggly Little Hands is just filler that I forgot to update. So whoops. It's totally fine. It's just not like an exciting, cool name with backstory to it. It was just like, oh, I need a name that I just need to put in here so I can keep the progress going, you know? Gotcha, Baum. TikTok was limiting the characters. Baum, with your name change, is it Baum or Baum? You let me know, because I'm pronouncing it like the German way from all my years of German, but you let me know. Malaya Kern, author, welcome back in. You said you accidentally stayed up till 2:30 writing this morning, but wrote 30 more pages. Yo! Good work. 30 more pages. Let's go. Hey, that's worth being a little bit tired at work the next day, right? That's it, man. That's like the joy, right? The raw, unfiltered passion of just like staying up, blowing away bedtimes, just fingers on the keyboard, tearing it up, smoke coming off, ideas flowing. That's it. That's kind of like the distilled essence of being an author, man. Rock on. Good for you. Rafi, you said the fact that I didn't update that name and it made it all the way through to publishing just means that that name was meant to be. Meant to or not, it is now. There's no changing it. Okay, so it is from German. Baum. Rock on. Well, then I'll keep saying it the German way. Baum. Can't talk today. Kuchen? That has to do with like food, right? Yeah. Traditional German layer cake. Delicious. Looks good. I've never had it. Y'all, it's a tradition around here on stream that I have to be hungry. So if I have to be hungry, y'all have to be hungry. So you gotta look at this delicious little cake. Let's get a bigger picture of it. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. If I can put it on screen for you. That looks pretty tasty. I don't know if you can see it on detail because of the stream, but like it's got like 100 little layers in there. Oof, that looks good. I want it. Look at this. It's 7 a.m. and we're talking about cakes. We're off to a good start today. Raffi, you said yesterday you exposed a friend to how weird Broadway play topics were. You can only imagine books. What plays, Raffi? I mean, I know there's some weird ones out there, but there's some less weird ones too. Which plays? Which plays? Harpy, now you want cake? I've achieved my goal then. You know, I tell y'all this is like a writing and creativity themed podcast. I don't know why I want to call it a podcast. Live stream. But realistically, that's all a ruse. It's actually just a cake stream. We're just here to make people hungry. By the way, Slendy and Harpy, welcome in. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday to you. Casey Brown, I would definitely eat too much of that. Yeah. I would eat too much of that. I would feel guilty about it, and then I would eat some more. It sounds like a good day to me. I'm glad y'all think the cake looks good too. Oh, Carmatic, the cake from the Matilda movies. Hold on. That was foundational to me as a child. That cake looked just incredible. And I think like now that I'm older, I'm like, man, maybe not. Maybe it's just straight chocolate. But it does look good. Too much cake too early. Too much cake too early, y'all. We're getting off the rails here. Oh, okay, Raffi, you pulled some of the bizarre ones. Starlight Express. I did not expect to see a Starlight Express reference in stream today. Holy cow. Wow. Y'all, if you don't know about Starlight Express, it is a Broadway musical about trains, and the entire musical is performed on rollerblades or roller skates. On stage. All of the cast has to learn how to skate, and they have choreographed like dance numbers on skates on stage, and it's about trains. Starlight Express, absolutely insane. I've never had the chance to see it. Can't wait to see it. One of these days we'll get there. Raffi, I see the direction you were going there. That's fair. Baum, I don't know, but Adult Thomas the Train Fever Dream does sound pretty accurate. I don't know the plot. I'm waiting until one day I can see it. But, yeah, sounds insane. Sounds fun, though, too. Baum said a successful debut of my new name. You got us down the cake. I was going to say the cake hole, but that sounds wrong. Slindy, you said my mom makes a death by chocolate cake with her own homemade chocolate frosting. Sounds like a good way to go, though. Raffi, or not Raffi, Slindy, next time she makes it, please send a picture in the Discord. Brennan, welcome back. Hey, happy to have you. Happy Wednesday to you. Thanks for popping back in here. We're supposed to be writing, but right now we're talking about cakes at 7 a.m. in the morning, so let's see if we can get this back on the rails just a little bit. Not entirely, just, one wheel back on the rail. When you win, welcome in. Good to see you. Been a little while. What have you been up to? What adventure have you been off on? Recruited by a group of dwarves and a wizard to go reclaim their mountain from a tyrannical dragon, perhaps? Baum, I am an absolute devotee of coffee cake. It is like my favorite thing. That and it's the coffee pastry. I can't remember what it's called right now, but any breakfast pastry that pairs well with coffee. Yeah, we're there. Raffi back on the rails like in Starlight Express. Exactly what I was going for. That's the headspace you've put me in today, my friend. When you that sounds ominous. I hope that's not as bad as it sounds. I'm sorry about that if that's the case. Yeah, man. A source of national disappointment, I would say, frankly, without getting too much into it. So I'm sorry if that's the case. Ouch. I hope it's all resolved now. I hope you're all right. Whew. Well. Yeah, moment for that one. Y'all, this is a writing stream. Raffi, I think you were asking for a sprint earlier today. Oh, okay. You didn't mean to type it, when you? Gotcha. So perhaps I misunderstood. Baum, if your message is not on the combined chat here on stream, then yeah, it TikTok censored it, because good lord do they censor so many things. I guess Raffi found out earlier today that rope drop got censored. I don't even know what that means, but yeah. Raffi, from that description you make Starlight Express sound like it's just cars before cars existed, and it's with trains. When you've been writing nonstop, I'm glad to hear that. I hope the progress has been swift. Oh, Baum, you were asking how Wriggly Little Hands main characters would like their cake? Hold, please. We can answer that question. And then we'll get to some writing, I promise. I want to pull this up because you're asking how the MCs, how the main characters of Wriggly Little Hands would like their cake. Well, it is canonical in the book that newt cake is their favorite dessert. What is newt cake exactly? I'm not sure, but canonically it does have newts in it, and they do try to get out. I imagine it as being gelatinous. But their primary diet consists of bugs, turtles, newts, mud. So if you could use those ingredients to make a cake, I'm sure these slimy little chaos goobers would be all about it, Baum. So good luck with that. That's a tough list of ingredients. I do know in the book at one point they ask for a bug, leech, and turtle sandwich with a maggot aioli on top. So they have a very refined palate, as you can tell from that. Mikhail, you said, do you make your living off of your books? Mikhail, I do. These are all my book ones here. I've been writing full time since 2018. The top row is fantasy and the bottom row is lit RPG. I make my living off of this presently, but it's always a little bit shaky because it's not the biggest high-paying job, and I haven't had any massive hits yet. But I've got enough that I'm able to keep doing it for now. So we just keep taking shots, keep writing books, and seeing if we can't make it a little more steady, a little more reliable. I got high hopes for Wriggly Little Hands here in the top middle that's coming out next week, next Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by, Mikhail. How you doing this Wednesday? Hope your day's off to a good start. When you said my dog was diagnosed with like 2 months. Oh my goodness, 2 months to live. Plus everyone around me decided to need something. I am so sorry, Winyu. I hope your dog is okay. That's absolutely heartbreaking. I'm really sorry to hear that. I wish I could do more than just offer sympathies. That's brutal. Losing a pet is just that's rough. Mikhail, you said, are they on Amazon? They are. They're all on Kindle Unlimited and on Amazon and Audible. So you got paperback, ebook, and audiobook. However you prefer to consume. Baum, you said newt cake. It sounds kind of wriggly and cute. It's perfect. Yeah, that's what I was going with. In the second chapter in the book, Ollie takes a newt cake to the Dark Lord. and on his path there has to go through the caverns of Whispering Web. So the newt cake gets a little additional decoration on top with just a nice sprinkling of spider web spread across the top of it, which I imagine made it quite a nicely decorated little newt cake. And it's calling for that sprint. All right, y'all. All right, we've chatted enough. Let's get a sprint going. Folks, if you're new here, first of all, welcome in. Pleasure to have you. We're here every weekday at 7 a.m. Central Time. And we do a variety of fun, creative writing, or maybe sometimes, like on Fridays, we make fantasy maps. We're always doing something fantasy-focused, creative writing-focused. Today we're doing writing sprints. So I encourage y'all to write along with me if you want to do that. Or maybe you got some chores to work on. Maybe you're cooking breakfast. Maybe you're baking a cake, as we've been talking about this morning. Whatever it is, for the next 5 minutes, I encourage you to do it along with me. I'm going to be writing my book. I know we got a couple folks in here that are ready to write. So y'all, let's get after it. Good luck. Let's get some words on page. Or cakes in the oven. I don't know, whatever you're working on. I am at a point that I need to think about what comes next. I've got most of this novella figured out, but I just need a little bit of plotting in here. So I don't know if my word count's going to be too high today, because we're trying to think about what comes next. Thinking work is hard, slow work for me. Yeah, Rafi. Real quick, y'all. Rafi said, I found out Siri will read documents, so I've been making it read my book to me. Good way to find errors. Spot on. Absolutely. I have a plugin on Google to do that. I didn't know Siri could do it. That's probably even a better text-to-voice solution. Really good way to find errors and see if your dialogue sounds natural. Rock on, Rafi. Good call. Good shout. Baum saying hi to Aaron. That's nice. I'll let y'all chat while I get some words in on this sprint. Baum, I suspect Erin is preparing breakfast downstairs, so she might be popping in and out. But if you see her comment again, hit her with the question. I'm sure she's happy to answer. She's getting ready to travel again soon. Y'all remind me at the end of this 2 minutes that I wanted to talk to you about something with this novella. Just remind me a little bit. All right, y'all. 1 minute left on the sprint. If you're sprinting, good luck. Finish strong. Joe, you got rained out at work today. What's that about? I think you were doing. You're a farmer. Are you the farmer? No, AJ's the farmer, I believe. You were doing some sort of work outside. Can you remind me what it was? Y'all, okay. There's the time on the sprint, and I'm sorry, I'm making myself cackle with the ideas that I came up with. So if you are writing on that sprint, let me know your progress. I'm a little bit cheaty today. I'm not actually adding words to the story. I needed to plan what comes next in the story, so I'm kind of typing out, thinking to myself about what comes next. So I got 159 words in that sprint, but that wasn't real writing. I'm planning. That's part of the process, though. What I wanted to talk to you about, I'm working on some ideas. Yes, thank you, Baum. Thank you very much. You are spot on. So y'all, I am working on this novella for Wriggly Little Hands. If you don't know what that is, we'll put up the cover real quick. That's my book launching next Tuesday about goblins on a road trip. It's Terry Pratchett. It's in the style of Terry Pratchett, fantasy comedy, very goofy, very silly, a little bit wholesome, a little bit gross. Super excited to get that out to everybody. You can pre-order it now on Amazon. But what I'm talking to you about, I am writing a prequel novella for it. And I want to explore another part of this world, just have a little fun, play in the space. Where this novella starts, without giving too many spoilers, because a lot of readers here don't want to get spoiled on Wriggly Little Hands. This novella takes place at a wizard college. Before the events of the book, and I'm coming up with ways to spoof academia. So one, if any of you have ideas on how we can kind of goof around in the realm of academia, let me know. But I'll give you an example. This is something I just came up with. All of the professors there are wizards, right? And Raffi, I gave away a bit there. Interesting. I wonder what I spoiled. Anyway, so the main character is trying to achieve tenure as a professor at the university. And if you're a professor at the university, you're a wizard. And I'm like, well, tenure in real life is important for professors, right? Like to be basically unfireable at your university. It's a respected thing. I'm trying to like really amp that up and make it really silly. So I just had the idea that tenure for wizards at a wizard college is basically like becoming a lich, in that you go through a ceremony that like binds you to the university. They can't fire you. You can't really quit. And also you become incredibly powerful when you're at the university, and decreasingly powerful as you move further away from the university. And then I took it a step further, and I'm like, I would love if if a wizard gets killed away from their university, like almost like a Horcrux, they get sent back to it and they're reborn at the university, but they lose their tenure and they have to become an undergrad again. That idea alone made me cackle, and I'm thinking about doing something like that. And so that's what I'm planning right now, is just kind of what does the world of this insane wizard university look like? And I think it's very funny to imagine wizards like working, and this is a very silly world, right? So we're talking like Terry Pratchett level of wizard, like really goofy stuff. I love the idea of them working to gain all this knowledge and magic and finally achieving tenure, going through this ritual that makes them incredibly strong and binds them to the university. And then they, have some misadventure somewhere on, sabbatical. They have some misadventure on sabbatical, falling piano crushes them, and they're reborn back at the university as an undergrad. That must just be the most miserable experience. It's like being a lich, except kind of lame. So anyway, That was what I was just planning, and I think that's going to be really fun. I'm very excited to write that, actually. And actually, I just had another idea. Let me write it down real quick. Look at that. Brainstorming on stream, y'all. I love it. Rafi, you said, I believe you told us who the story was about, so Uni gives a little bit away. Man, Rafi, nothing gets past you. That's right. I did tell you who it was about. Well played. Well played. Slindy, you said I have a terrible memory, so I might not remember if he did, but I can guess just from what I read. Yeah, if you've read Wrigley, you might be able to know which of the characters would have gone to Wizards University. I'm very excited to continue with this story, y'all. I've been writing it, but I kind of ran out of the amount that I had. I know what the next plot point is, but I wasn't sure how to get there exactly, so I needed to step back and take a day to really, hammer out the outline a little bit more. So that's what we're doing today. But yeah, I'm really happy with that idea, and we're gonna have to do a little bit more there, take it a bit further. Rafi, Rafi, I'm pretty sure you're spot on, my friend. You are a sharp-eyed reader. Well played. Oh, Megan, thank you for the tiny diny. I'm sorry, I missed everything. I missed your good morning. I missed your heart me. I did catch the tiny diny though, so thank you. Thank you very much, Megan. The tiny diny arms. I really need to change my cameras, y'all. It was a lot funnier back in the day when the T-Rex arms were totally. Hold on, we're gonna see if we can fix this on stream. What's my crop shortcut? Nope, that ain't it. Nah. Camera views are my cameras are too lined up. I really would like to get it back one day. Slindy said, how do they get there without brooms? You remember the sweepening. I don't know how the wizards fly. I could read you a little section from Wriggly Little Hands about it, though. Slindy, I'm sure with that comment you are aware of what section I'm thinking about. I just filmed a video for it yesterday too, so I'm gonna put that out pretty soon. Misfit Mikey, welcome in, my friend. Welcome in. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. We just did our first writing sprint, and I think I'm gonna read y'all a little bit from Wriggly Little Hands, and then maybe do another one, unless I don't know anyone brings up any more interesting conversation topics like our earlier tangent about cakes. That was a lot of fun. Baum, you said, can you get inspiration from Erin? She's been around those kind of people, maybe. She has. I was too. I do have 2 bachelor degrees. And honestly, I want to go back. I'd love to go get a degree in anthropology, just purely for fun. But we need to make some more money before we can take time off to do that. Oh, Misfit Mikey. Oh, buddy. Oh, tres leches. Yes, please. I love that dish so much. I used to work for the Florida Attractions Association, which is basically like a cooler HOA for all of the amusement parks in Florida, and the focus wasn't to like be a tyrannical HOA, but to teach the smaller amusement parks how to learn from the big successful ones to grow the industry as a whole. Anyway, that's a long way to say I had to travel around the state a lot, and every time we went to Orlando, we would go to this incredible Colombian restaurant and get their tres leches, and it was just like, it's marked on my Google Maps. As soon as I can get back there, we're going. I need those tres leches. Oh, you're just at Legoland, Misfit Mikey. Rock on. Did you have a good time? It's a good place. I'm weirdly connected to the tourism industry. Where is the gym? It's called hold on, let me pull it up real quick, because I'm blanking on the name and now I'm panicking on stream that I don't know the name right off the bat. It's always how it goes. Let me get the correct Google Maps. There it is. It's called Pio Pio. P-I-O. It is, where's the address here? If you just type that in for Orlando, Pio Pio restaurant, it'll come up. Place rocks. This is their new location. I haven't been to the new one yet. But oh boy, it's good. Check it out if you're in Orlando. I love that Trace Leche is love in the chat. We understand each other. Anaya, you said do it. Go back to college for anthropology. You love anthropology. Rock on, rock on. I honestly would have studied it more, but my freshman year when I started taking those classes was the same year my university dropped it as a major, so I couldn't continue with it outside of a minor. But it was fascinating. It was utterly fascinating. I can't wait to learn more about it. Honestly, my dream is to make enough money from writing that I can keep writing at a slightly reduced pace and then like just go do college things. Maybe I'm thinking maybe I could teach a course. I could teach a little creative writing class, once or twice a semester, and that would probably cover a lot of tuition for taking classes that I'm just interested in. Baum, you said it's cute that I said back in the day. So proud of you keeping the community thriving. Well, thank you. That's very sweet. I appreciate you. It's pretty nuts, right? We've been here for going on, oh boy, March, April, May. So like, we're approaching month 3, right? Because I think we started on like March 10th, I think, and then March to April and April to May. So yeah, we're coming up on 3 months, y'all. That's kind of nuts. Was it Mike? Was it Joe the Great? You said you work in construction, so you got rained out today. So if it's raining, do you guys just like you just can't do whatever part of the job you're at? You just can't do that. So they just send you home. So you get like the day off. I imagine you don't get paid for that. So it's kind of a positive negative situation, right? Misfit Mike, you said you started 2 months ago. You're happy with how the staff is treated. Is that at Legoland you started? Sorry, just catching up on chat. You worked in restaurants for years and you wanted a new change of pace. Okay, rock on. Well, I hope it's good for you. I hope you have fun there. It looks lovely. I've actually not been there myself. I think, don't you need like a kid? I think you have to like go with a kid, right? You can't just go as adults. Karmatic, you're looking at getting a degree in folklore. Interesting. That's that's fascinating. I'm sure that would be a really interesting subject. Wow, chat is popping off, y'all. I'm trying to catch up, and it's out scrolling me. Daniel Morgan, hey, welcome in, man. I didn't see you slip in. You snuck in the back door, but good to have you. Welcome in. He said, I don't think I've ever had it, Tres Leches. I think I'm missing out. Yeah, I get it. It's like it's 3 cream, basically. It's 3 types of cream and like a little light dessert cake. It's lovely. It's really good. You got to go to like a good South American or Colombian or I think some Mexican restaurants have it as well. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's more of a South American dish than a Mexican dish. More South American than Central American. Could be wrong though. And teach a creative writing class at a college and have the class brainstorm your next books and beta read your chapters. Your assignment today, class, is to read the first 30 chapters of my next book, give me positive feedback on it, and then review it on Goodreads. So Lindy, you said, I want to go to college, but being disabled and nearing 30, I have little prospects. Have you looked into like community college, Lindy? Because, I mean, that's a really good entry point. And there's a lot of good community colleges. Like the state institutions are cool and whatnot, but they're often overblown. Community colleges don't let the TV show Community paint the whole picture for you. There's some good ones out there. Money Mace, I hang out on the job site. Is that... well, welcome in, Money Mace. I don't recognize you, but thanks for stopping by. Do you also work construction? Was that an answer to my question about what happens when it rains, when it gets rained out? Zedeth, you said I'm... Okay, well, I can't read that one. I'm Spider-Man. We want Battlefront 3. Spread the good word. What is going on, y'all? Blaze Gaming, welcome in, my friend. You said do you have any good beginner fantasy books? Just now getting into reading for fun. Dude, hey, wow, I love hearing that. Welcome in, Blaze. Y'all, give Blaze some recommendations for beginner fantasy books. Blaze, I'm going to be a little bit biased here. If you're looking for beginner stuff, I think The Far Wild on the top right, disclaimer, it's my book, is a good place to start. But for real beginner fantasy, like we can pull something else. I think Dragonlance is honestly a really good place to go. I'll put it in chat for you. Dragonlance is an absolute classic fantasy. Let me get the name of the first one, because there's like 30 of them. Yeah, Dragons of Autumn Twilight is the title. That's just absolutely classic fantasy. That's a good foot in the door. I'd start there. Aragon's another good one from Daniel Morgan. Absolutely spot on. And just honestly, it's really just about finding the type of fantasy you like. Just kind of read it all. Read widely. Tell us what else you like in other media. Give us TV shows and movies and stuff, and maybe we can dial in some recommendations for you a bit. Money Mace, you said, hello. Yes, I also work construction. When it rains, we usually wait it out or do paperwork. Okay, interesting. Well, thank you for that. I've never really thought about that, honestly. But Money Mace, I can tell you, my friends and I played the beta or the early release preview of Roadcraft. If you're familiar with it, it's basically Tonka Trucks, the video game. We were in there literally like clearing a path through the woods, laying gravel out of the back of a dump truck, smoothing it out, bringing an asphalt paver, putting down the hot asphalt, smoothing that out. It's Tonka Trucks, the video game, and I'll have you know, we are all experts in construction now, and every time we drive past a construction site, we're like, no, see, he's doing that wrong. And we know absolutely nothing, but it's an absolute joy of a game. Landon, you said, awesome recommendation. My dad has the entire collection of Dragonlance. Yeah, dude, Landon, it's so fun. I need to go back and reread them. They're just simple, good, fun fantasy. Megan, you said, for Wriggly Little Hands, can you remind me how we can get signed copies from you? Megan, so I don't have really a system for signed copies yet. I'm in talks with local bookstores. I'm trying to find a local bookstore that will be my sole outlet for signed copies. That way you guys can just go and order them from a local bookstore, support a small bookstore, and I can just go into store once a month or whatever and sign a bunch of copies for them. That's the plan. I don't have that in place yet. So I kind of got the next best option right now until we get that set up. Let me make a note too to kind of prioritize that, because I've had a couple questions about it recently. So there's clearly a demand, and I need to get on that. So let me make a note here. But if you do want a pseudo-signed copy of Wriggly Little Hands, Megan, what you can do is if you buy a paperback, just DM me, let me know. And if you give me a good mailing address, I'll mail you a signed book plate, which is basically a sticker that you put in the front of your book. You can just stick it right in there. I'll sign it, obviously. And you can build your own signed paperback in a way. So much stuff. Rainbow Veteran said, I'm working on my first manuscript right now. Hey! Rock on, Rainbow. I'm proud of you. Let's go. That's super exciting. What genre? What are you writing in? Tell me about it. You said, should I make an outline for the book? Rainbow, if you want an outline, if you feel that it might help you, feel free to take a stab at making one. It's kind of split. Some folks in the community don't outline at all. They write by the seat of their pants. We call them pantsers. They just kind of make it up as they go, or they leave room for the story to surprise themselves. Other folks like to outline everything ahead of time. I'm kind of in between. I do a thin, kind of just a loose, almost like a bullet point outline. That way I know where the story's going, but there's still room for creative pivots if cool ideas hit me. It's really, you just kind of try all three and see what works for you best, I would say. Rafi said, horrible question. What's the quintessential fantasy book? I'll go first. Phantom Tollbooth. Phantom Tollbooth. Is that like a Goosebumps? Children's fantasy adventure novel written by Norton Juster with illustrations by Jules Pfeiffer. First published in 1961. Rafi, I've never heard of this. You've uncovered a gap in my knowledge. All right. Well, hey. Folks, what's the quintessential fantasy novel? Rafi's asked. We need some answers. Blaze Gaming, you like Game of Thrones and stuff similar to that. Okay. Y'all, if Blaze Gaming likes Game of Thrones, stuff similar to that, what kind of fantasy recs do we give them for getting into fantasy, kind of reading fresh? Blaze, have you read Game of Thrones, the novels? That's a big step for a first for jumping into fantasy. Those are doorstop books. They're dense. They're very good though. I'll try to think. In the realm of like Game of Thrones, that's kind of like politics drama sort of deal. Folks, what do you think on that? Let them know. I want to thank real quick the Rainbow Veteran. Thank you for following. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Happy Wednesday to you. Folks, if you don't know, we are here every weekday at 7 a.m. Central Time. We're always doing something creatively focused. On Fridays, we make fantasy maps on stream. We're going to do that again this Friday. Today we're doing writing sprints and Q&A. And now we've only done one writing sprint, but there's been so many questions that I want to talk about them all. But we will get back to a writing sprint in a little bit. So thanks for all the questions, everybody. I'm gonna try to get through them here. All right, rapid fire here. Money Mage, it sounds like fun to mess around with buddies. Absolutely. Roadcraft's a wonderful game. I really enjoy it. Karmatic, you said I would also like a signed copy of... I assume there was a part 2 that didn't get through. Yeah, Karmatic, if you buy a paperback of any of my books, it's a standing offer. I got a video going out about it pretty soon because I just did 2 of them yesterday. Standing offer, if you ever buy one of my paperbacks, one of these bad boys, just DM me, let me know, and I'll send you a signed bookplate you can stick right in the front of it. Build your own signed copy. And that's just until, that's my temporary until I work with a local bookstore to get signed copies in there, so you can order from them. Support an indie bookstore while getting signed copies. Let's see, Gofran Elias? Let me know how to say that. You said, hi, I'm Gofran. I'm an indie author. Gofran. Welcome in. Nice to meet you. Happy Wednesday. What do you write? Let me know. We love authors around here. Got a fair few hanging out. Rainbow, you answered my question asking what your first manuscript's about, and you said it's slice of life and romance. Well, that sounds lovely. That sounds very, very relaxing, very fun to read. Rainbow, we frequently do Q&A about publishing, writing, books, all that stuff here. So if you got any questions as you're working through it, just like you asked about the outline, just bring them here. We love to answer them. Gofran, you have a memoir out. Oh, okay. Hey, drop the title for us so we can look it up. Jack Ann, speaking of other authors, welcome in. Good to see you. You said Gina Denny has a great free spreadsheet, 8-point plot beat sheet on her Patreon. Awesome and flexible. There you go. There's an answer about outlining for you. There's a Gina Denny free spreadsheet, 8-point plot beat sheet. Man, that was a tongue twister there. Michael Bucky B, welcome back in. Good to see you, buddy. Said I have a book idea that has nagged me for years, but I'm afraid to start. Like, I don't know where to. It cuts off, but I think you mean maybe go with it or something like that. Michael, what I would recommend if you're trying to test out an idea like that, think of what a singular moment in it, like if you envision that book being completed, your whole book, right? Think about a singular moment in there that's like the coolest thing you can possibly imagine for the whole story, and write that scene. Just take a stab at it. I think that's a great way to like litmus test a book to see if it's something you want to do. I would say start there, and if it goes well, then I would sit down personally and I would do a bullet point outline, and then I'd just start writing through it. And once you start, don't stop until you get to the end. Then you can go back and think about editing and whatnot. It's really just like our writing sprints would say, let's get one fired up here. In a few minutes, we're gonna do our next writing sprint. The concept is just to write and to get into the flow of it and let the words come, and then you can edit later. But you can't edit words you haven't written, right? Rappy, I have not heard of Phantom Tollbooth. I'm sorry. That is a gap in my knowledge, I suppose. What's it about? I mean, it looked interesting from what I looked up. Kind of like a classic novel, right? Felt like Hardy Boys-esque. Jordan, good morning. Good to see you, my friend. Happy to have you back. How you been? Sloyd, Joe Abercrombie, that is a heavy rec for a place to start in fantasy. Joe's complicated with very good books. Love his stuff, obviously. I believe we're mutual fans. I think we've talked about this before. But Joe's a good author for sure. Daniel Morgan says Lord of the Rings is another good intro. Well, you can't beat Lord of the Rings. It's a beautiful book. Beautiful books. I'm in love with them. Karmatic says Wheel of Time. Yeah, that's another good one. Another good intro. You guys got some good intro recs. Thank you. Blaze Gaming, you said my English teacher from high school just released 3 fantasy books I'm thinking about getting. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, pick one up. Give it a try. Let him know you grabbed it. He'll be super happy about that. That's super. That's very wholesome. Danny, you said I'm doing high fantasy action based in Greek mythology. Can I just write action without world building? First of all, Danny, that sounds awesome. I love that Greek mythology is on like this renaissance right now. I guess do we have to thank the guy that does the epic musical on TikTok? I can't remember his name right now. I really should. Hold on, we got to look it up. Come on, where is it? There we go. Is it George or is it Jorge? I've never actually heard it pronounced. I've only seen it written. I think it's George Rivera. Herons? Herons? I'm now realizing I've only ever read his name. So I'm sure that was a terrible pronunciation. Anyway, you said, can I just write action without world building? Try this, Danny. Action scenes in books should always pull double or triple duty if possible. We'll focus on double for now. The action is cool, but it should also do something else, and that the action should have stakes that we're aware of, and the outcome of the action should change the book, not just in like, oh, so such and such character died or whatnot, but like whatever the goal is that the character is working towards should be, they should get closer to it or further from it based on the action. So your action should pull double duty in that way. If you're not too interested in doing world building, what I would say is don't worry about doing like an expo dump that's like going into everything. It's totally fine just to naturally drop little snippets, a sentence here or there of world building as you progress. It's just stylistic way some authors write. They don't do info dumps up front. They just seed the world building in very casually. If you're not big on world building, that's a good way to do it. But don't feel pressured to jump into it too much. Vaughn, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. That's super kind of you. Welcome in. Jack Ann coming with some recommendations on if you like Game of Thrones. Other stuff to read similar would be A Vengeful Realm, The Cruelty of Magic, and Darkblade. There we go. There's 3. I'll say it again for the Rex. A Vengeful Realm, The Cruelty of Magic, and Darkblade. Ah, yes, Harpy, The Lies of Loch Lamora. There's a good one. Y'all, I hold on. All right, you're going to get a rare swear on me from me on stream here because I need to read you the opening of The Lies of Loch Lamora because it is one of my favorite openings in all of fiction. It's so good. Let's see if I can get the specific part I'm thinking about here. It's not the prologue. It might be too far in. Yeah, I think it's too far in for the sample. I'd have to go grab a copy of it. Maybe it's in here. Basically, y'all, I'll summarize it for you. The way it works is it has like this long introduction of about these dramatic wizards and like how they should never be crossed and like they're super powerful and they have these birds that like ride on their shoulder, and then it cuts to the main character meeting one, and the main character's first words out of his mouth after meeting this incredibly terrifying wizard is just, "Nice bird, asshole." It's incredible with all the world building ahead of it, and like they plays up the wizard and the main character just like immediately completely irreverent. It's really funny. It gets me every time. Xeno Trigger, welcome in. Happy Wednesday to you. I said we're gonna do a writing sprint. We really got to get to it. So y'all, I'm gonna catch up on what's in chat, and then we're gonna do a writing sprint. Daniel Morgan, another good recommendation if you like magic but modern. The Dresden Files. Dresden Files are very good. I've started reading them, and on the whole, have greatly enjoyed them. Excited to read more. Xeno Trigger, you've been working on your acts 1 through 4. You're doing a split act format. All right, a little bit more challenging than normal, but good luck with it. As I always say, if you got questions, bring them here. Rafi says Phantom Tollbooth is a fantasy classic. It's about a boy who gets transported to a world where there are 2 kingdoms, one ruled by numbers, the other with words. It's up to the boy to bring the kingdoms together with the help of a god with a clock for a body named Talk. Rafi, this is insane. Oh, a dog with a body, a clock for a body. I'm sure it makes sense in concept, but that sounds insane, Rafi. Michael, thank you for the follow. I'm sorry I didn't get it earlier, but appreciate that, man. Blaze Gaming, yeah, Dragons of Autumn Twilight is likely in mini formats because it's such a classic. It's also like definitely just based on D&D, so it's fantasy that reads like D&D. It's very fun and wholesome. All right. Hey, we made it, y'all. I made it. I caught up on chat. I didn't think it was possible. So, folks, first of all, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Outside of just chatting with you, we do a little bit of creative stuff here. Like I said, on Fridays, we make fantasy maps. So tune in Friday. We're going to be doing that again. Sometimes we play writing games where we roll dice to find out what prompt we're going to write, and then we roll more dice to modify it and change it up. Today, we're just doing writing sprints. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock. And during that time, I'm going to be working on my next book live on stream. And I encourage y'all to work on anything you want to work on. You got chores you need to do. You got writing you want to work on. You got some art you're doing. Whatever it is, by all means, please. Let's knock it out in these next 5 minutes. Just a little bit of focused creativity. And what I'm working on right now is this book right here, Top Middle, Wriggly Little Hands. That launches on Tuesday of next week. Can't wait to get it out to y'all. So what I'm working on is a free prequel novella. It's a little bit of an appetizer for the story, you could say. So that's what I'm writing. That's what I'll be writing for these next 5 minutes. Let me know what you're working on. And y'all, for the next 5 minutes, let's get a little words on page. A little bit of progress done. So, hey, timer's timing. Good luck. Put some words on page, folks. We'll get there. Baum, you said with all this magic talk, you got to shout out BBC's Merlin. It always inspires you to write. Yeah, it's a good show. A very good show. Another classic. Oh, you know what, y'all? I'm so sorry. I said I was going to read you a snippet of Wriggly Little Hands in our last little stretch there, and I totally forgot. So after this writing sprint, we'll do that. But for now, there's 2 minutes, 35 seconds on the clock. Let's get some more words on page. I'm liking the ideas that are coming up here. I'm really digging it. Getting the brainstorming juices are flowing today. We got ideas. Karmatic, I don't know if I thanked you for the tiny diny, but thank you. Thank you very much. Super generous of you. Love Tiny Diny. Objectively the best gift on TikTok. All right, time check. 1 minute left, y'all. 1 minute. Finish the sprint strong if you're writing along with me. 1 minute left. Let's get there. Sprint across that finish line. I said sprint across the finish line and then lost all my thoughts. Lost all my ideas. All right, that's definitely time. I went over a little bit, but finishing that thought, y'all know how it goes. Folks, if you were sprinting along with me, let me know how it went word count wise. I added about 200 words in there, but we're not really counting it today because I'm not truly writing. Today we're brainstorming. We're brainstorming for the novella because I hit a plot point where I needed to just kind of figure some more stuff out. So that's what we're doing. Gio, welcome in, my friend. Hello, hello. How you been? Glad to see you back. Good morning. Jack Ann, you got 200 words edited for your sample edit. Rock on, man. Very good. Which book is that one in? What are you pushing with right now? Baum, you said you're making a vision board for each of your characters. That's fun. That's fun. Baum, share it on Discord if you want to once it's done. I love looking at vision boards. I'm really bad. I'm not good at making them, but I really admire when other folks do it and do it well. Rainbow Veteran, you said I got about 100 or so words. I had to keep looking at a map for reference. I mean, slows you down a little bit, but also very fun. Also very fun. I love fantasy maps. Good job, Veteran. I'm excited to see what your story is going to be. I don't know. There's something so exciting to see people creating, and like, I don't know, the act of raw creation is cool. I don't know. It gets me excited. Maybe that's why I do this job. Rainbow and anybody else that's here, if you want to hang out outside of stream, I just dropped our Discord link in chat. It's also in the link in my bio on TikTok if you want to do that. But y'all, that's a Discord community. We got over 130 members now, I think. We hang out there. We share writing samples. We give each other constructive, positive feedback. Because I feel like that's what writers need the most early on, is not to be torn apart and told everything they've done wrong, but to be encouraged in the areas they've done well. So we do a lot of that. We do art share. Just a fun place to hang out. So, hey, come hang out with us on Discord if you want. We'd love to have you. Would love to answer your questions about writing, too, when the stream's not running. Devin Barrington. What's up, my guy? Happy Wednesday to you. Welcome in. How have you been? What are you up to? Jack Ann, you said in answer to my question that you are tackling some sample edits today for clients inquiring for my dev editing services. Okay, rock on. Rock on. That's fun. I mean, not for me. I despise editing with a burning passion. Writing is where it's at. Editing's miserable. But I'm glad it's good for you, Jack Ann, and I hope the clients like your work. Isabel Knight on YouTube, I am so sorry. I didn't notice you were here until now. My main chat, my TikTok chat's like here. My YouTube chat's like down there. So it's easy to miss it. But hello, Isabel Knight. Welcome back in. I'm doing very well today. I'm excited. I'm brainstorming for the novella that we're working on. Am I blurry? I'm blurry. Apparently I'm not doing well today. I'm doing blurry today. One moment. We can fix. There we go. Isabel, I'm doing very good today. You just finished the line and copy edits on your book. Y'all, applause in the chat. Applause in the chat for Isabel. Rock on. Y'all, Isabel is such an active writer. She hangs out on YouTube with us sometimes. I'm amazed at the progress and the pace that she has. Rock on, Isabel. Good job. And you're finishing, and you finished formatting it? Let's go. Let's go. Good for you, Isabel. Devin, you said, I've been well, my friend, patiently waiting for my copyright certification. Interesting. Copyright for, what is it for? For, I don't even know. What are you waiting on that for? Geogram, you said it's been a while since we've had a blurry Alex. Here, I can probably make it happen again. Oh, okay, now I can't actually make it happen. Focus on that. There we go. Oh, it fixed itself, though. That's fancy. It doesn't normally do that. Karmatic with the applause for Isabel. I love it. Leisha, good morning. Welcome in. Y'all, it's good to see you, Leisha. What is your profile picture? I just see it as small in the chat, so I really know it from color. Okay, I got it. It just is. It's just, I don't know. When I only see the little profile pictures there in chat, you just kind of get like a feel from them, right? And Leisha, for some reason, the blue and yellow in yours is just very like comforting. So I don't know. It feels like a stalwart to have Leisha here in the chat. I don't know. It just feels right. So welcome in. I'm glad you're back. Y'all, I said that I was gonna read you a snippet of Wriggly Little Hands. So I guess we should do that, huh? Maybe we'll play the audiobook sample a little bit later in stream, but for now, how's about I read you one? That sound good? I'm going to be pulling a second audio snippet coming up here probably later today, so we should have it for going forward. Because I know some of the regulars have heard the exclusive snippet a few too many times, might want to hear something new. But until then, y'all, we got a little book here. How about another little snippet from Wriggly Little Hands launching next Tuesday? I'll put the cover up so you can see it while I read it. I think you've heard this one a fair bit. Might do that. Yeah, here we go. Y'all, this is from, if you look at the cover, you see the goblins have a rocket-powered wagon, which surely they will use very responsibly and safely. So here is in the beginning of chapter 25. Of all the things one can say about goblins, smart is assuredly not among them. Curious? Sure. Enthusiastic? Absolutely. Likely to critically misunderstand the complex machine before them? Also yes. Taken altogether, the outlook that the goblins could fix their rocket-powered wagon was grim. Didn't stop them from trying, though. Ollie's ingenuity mixed with Hobbs' confidence like bogwort spores and belch toad secretion. Which is to say, the result was stinky, flammable, and inflicted injuries no insurance policy would cover. Add a determined effort from Robert, knocking around inside the engine with a rock he'd found, and in no time the wagon was fixed, which in this case was a word the goblins had repurposed to describe exactly how much worse they'd made things. So there you go. Beginning of chapter 25, our goblins experiencing a little bit of mechanical trouble with their wagon that they have oh so carefully and gently piloted up to this point, as you can imagine. I do love the idea of Robert just like, I'll help, and just picking up a rock and just like smashing the engine with it several times, and he's like, I did it! I fixed it! It just needed to be hit really hard. Devin, the copyright that you're working on is for your cozy fantasy book, Dagger and Ladle. I'm aware of that one. What copyright are you getting for it? Because typically you don't need to like file for anything for that, to my knowledge, unless I've been doing it wrong all this time. Bo, welcome in. Glad to see you. Isabel, you said, hold on, follow up from yesterday. You said the book blogger that you reached out to invited you on for a video interview. Hey, all right. I hope that goes well, Isabel. Good luck. That's exciting. Nerve-wracking, but exciting. Jack Ann, you said, are goblins able to attain insurance policies, even if said policy would not cover the damage? I don't think anyone would insure goblins. That would be a bad decision. I mean, yeah, that'd be a terrible decision. I don't know, something to explore in book 2, maybe, huh? We gotta find more things to spoof. I'm kind of back in my head thinking about societal things to spoof. Maybe insurance companies are gonna get in the crosshairs for book 2. Baum, you said you have such a unique voice in writing. Do you think anyone inspired it the most? Well, thank you, Baum. I think Terry Pratchett and Douglas Adams were big inspirations for it. I used to be a bit more of a Joe Abercrombie type voice when I was writing a little bit darker stuff. And he was a big inspiration for it. But as I've kind of come into my own as an author, I'm doing more fantasy, more comedy fantasy. And at that, I'm finding my voice falling back into kind of a Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams type vibe. And I'm very happy with that. I think I'm going to continue moving forward with that. That's kind of the place where I want to be. Yes, Jack, yeah, and insuring goblins would definitely be a bad business practice. Daniel Morgan says really high premiums. Well, it's a good thing the goblins don't understand the concept of money, and the most information they've gathered about money is licking gold coins taste bad, because they saw someone bite down on one once to verify it was real, so they started licking them and found out they taste terrible. So that's their relationship with money at this point in time. Devin, you said you don't need to have copyright to get an ISBN, but others can steal your work if it's in the commons. I'll have to do a bit of research into that, because none of the publishers I've worked with or in self-publishing have gone out of their way to get a copyright. It's just, I'll look into it though. Maybe it's something I'm missing. Destroy and Dan, welcome in, my friend. Happy Wednesday to you. You said, I think the most important things in life is realizing the self-diagnosis of limitations. I ain't meant to storytell. Hey, you just haven't worked at it enough, Dan. It's all about practice. You just get better the more you practice. I've been doing it full time since 2018, so I like to think I'm decent at it at least. But that's just a lot of practice, Absinthe Goblin. I gotta make that profile picture bigger. I love it. Welcome in, my friend. You said who did the cover? I love Goblin. I love the Gobbo faces. Well, thank you, Absinthe. Here, I can zoom in on it for you. Hold, please. There we go. I can zoom in a little bit on it for you. The cover art was done by Ivan Shavrin, an artist I've worked with a couple times now. I am in love with his style, y'all. I just give him a couple lines of text about what the cover's like, and he makes stuff like this. I love it. He's incredible. I think he fully gets the vibe. He understands the assignment and knows how to make things chaotic and fun at the same time. And I'd say he pretty much nailed my description of goblins as hairless cats. That you can see the cat facial features in there and whatnot, This guy is my favorite on the cover. Just losing his mind. Just terrified of what's going on. So yeah, thank you for that, Absinthe. And the cover art was done by Ivan Shavrin. I'll put his name in chat. I love him. Incredible dude to work with. Alicia, you said human beings are meant to storytell. Don't let capitalism tell you otherwise. Yeah, there you go, Alicia. Absolutely spot on. We've been telling stories around the campfire for thousands and thousands of years. Now we just do it in printed form. Devin, to sell the audiobook rights, publishers like Sound Booth Theater and Legion and Portal Books, etc., will have... Portal is actually more of an all-around publisher, so don't go to them for just audio rights. They have query forms on their website where you submit your book, a couple lines about it, anything you have on readership data if it's already published like that, and they'll consider it and see if they are interested in picking it up. That's how I sold to Sound Booth. I cold queried them with Wriggly Little Hands, and they loved it. Incredible. I was very, very lucky. Did not expect that to happen, but I definitely recommend, if you're doing indie publishing, approach audio publishers, see if you can sell them your audio rights, get a nice little advance, turn that around to getting cover art done, as well as editing, stuff like that. Absinthe, yes. Goblins are hairless cats with thumbs. Absinthe, do you know the opening lines of Wriggly Little Hands? Because you just said it. Literally, opening line of the book. Goblins look like if hairless cats had thumbs and learned to walk on two legs. My friend, we get each other. Glad to meet a fellow Goblin fan. Um, hey, Absinthe, Wriggly Little Hands. It's already out in paperback if you want to grab that. But ebook and audiobook release next Tuesday, and the audiobook is so good, y'all. I don't even like audiobooks, and I couldn't stop listening to this one. I know that's a hot take, but audiobooks aren't my thing, especially if it's my own writing. I don't like listening to my own writing back. This one's incredible. Sound Booth just rocked it on every level. I'm so thankful to them for their work on it. So I have an audio snippet I can share with y'all in a little bit here. If you want to hear what I'm bragging about, what I'm gushing about with this audiobook. Chi-Hi, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday to you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming to our little cozy corner of the internet. We try to put some good vibes into the world each day, talk about books, publishing, writing, do a bit of writing. Hey, on Fridays we make fantasy maps. Make sure you're here for that. That's always a good time. We finished our first map last week, and we're going to do a new one themed to Wriggly Little Hands, my book coming out. So we're going to go into this crazy world and work on a map. It's going to be a good time. That's coming up on Friday. Rainbow Veteran, you said, I am lucky enough to be able to draw. So I'm taking some inspiration from Japanese light novels to draw and write. Hey, rock on. I'm excited to see what you create. Rainbow, I was pitching the Discord to you earlier. We have an art share channel in there where we ask people to share any art they're working on. Your drawings, your practice would be very welcome there. We'd love to see it. All right, folks, so we got to get to a little bit of work here. I think we're due for another writing sprint, but before we do that, I'm going to hit y'all real quick, if you don't mind, with a little snippet of the Wriggly Little Hands audiobook. If you'll oblige me, I think it's a fun snippet and gives you a good representation of what to expect in the book. So hold one moment, we'll get that set up. My stream is very low tech on the back end, so basically I'm just opening windows and doing things on the fly. All right, hold please.
You're going to die.
There we go. Audio volume should be correct, and let's turn on our little statement. Not that one. Where is it? From last time. I don't think I did. Is it here? There it is. Okay, perfect. So, an exclusive snippet from Wriggly Little Hands. I'm going to mute while it's on, but I'll talk to y'all in the chat. And here we go. An exclusive snippet from the book. Enjoy.
And the moment you do, I will be here. You are going to die, little goblin. You are going to fail. You are going to mess this up. And the moment you do, I will be here. Waiting. Ready. Proficient. You are a joke. And a bad one at that. You squirmy little thing.
The Lieutenant of Lament seemed happy to hear that Ollie had gotten the job.
Ollie good squirmer,
he said with a nod. The lieutenant didn't have a face but for the shadows inside her helmet, and yet it was apparent she was frowning.
It is not my place to question the Dark Lord's cunning,
she said, and it sounded more like a reminder than anything.
Big boss cunningest,
Ollie chirped, skipping as he crossed the drawbridge above the moaning moat.
How do you plan to complete such a long journey? Do you even have supplies? Weapons? A map?
The lieutenant briefly considered drowning Ollie in the moat and saving everyone some trouble.
Ollie do,
he smiled, then paused.
Wait, no, Ollie no have, but do have cousins.
There's more of you. Oh, wonderful.
Many cousins.
Ollie bounded away, taking the stairs down to the dungeon 2 at a time, which really amounted to a sort of rolling bounce from one to the next. The lieutenant glided after him, insubstantial legs carrying her swift and silent, but for the occasional clank of armor.
Goodbye, gruesome. Ollie on secret mission for Big Boss. No tell.
Ollie shouted. The only reply was a blood-curdling scream from behind a locked door.
Goodbye, Ashgeist. Ollie on secret mission for Big Boss. No tell.
Oh, the quest is not a secret if you tell the whole world about it,
the lieutenant hissed, looming over the goblin's shoulder.
Oh.
Ollie's slapping feet came to a stop.
Ollie need lie. in case anyone asks what ollies do. Need smart lie, clever lie. Good news, cousins. We go on road trip.
So there you have it. Why are the goblins on a road trip? There's your answer. Devin, you like the voice acting? Thank you. Sound Booth Theater did such a good job, y'all. I know that I just rant and rave about how good of a job it was. But I mean it. I'm just astounded. I was floored with when they sent me the first sample. They just absolutely knocked it out of the park. So huge shout out to them. Carmatic, you said you're excited to read this with my kids. I greatly appreciate quality audiobooks. My kids have vision loss. I'm sorry to hear that, Carmatic. I'm glad that makes me extra appreciative of audiobooks. I'm so glad that you have those to read them with them. Carmatic, also, I'll say it is very safe for kids. There's probably 5 curse words in the whole book, and it's very clean throughout. It's very much on a Terry Pratchett level. Because of the cover, I often get asked what age range it is, and it's adult fantasy, but it's totally fine all the way down to young adult, maybe even middle grade. I had a lady ask that when I was selling it in person at a book fair, and I was like, I mean, it's safe for kids. Like, it's very fine. There's no content warnings. It just has like 4 curse words in it. It's just like 2 instances of hell and 2 of damn, because it's talking about damned souls. It's the Dark Lord is a character, right? You got to get into that a little bit. And she looks at me and she's like, "Oh, I'm the grandma. I don't have to worry about that. That's for the parents. This book is perfect." And then she's like, she bought it. And she's like, "I'll give it to the kids." It was very funny. Grandma privilege. They've heard worse in school, says Carmatic. Yeah, I just don't know kids that well, so I play it like extra safe because I recognize that most of my time is spent at hockey beer league and reading books that are thoroughly like adult. They're not, not spicy books, but just like adult fiction. So I recognize I'm pretty out of touch with the tastes of kids these days, and or what even is like a middle grade book. I haven't read too many lately. Shout out to Isabel, who's writing middle grade over there on YouTube. So I'm just careful about it, but that book is totally clean. Other name, you want to introduce it to your 7-year-old. I hope you have fun with it. I hope they love it. There's definitely some humor that 7-year-olds would enjoy in there. Slendy says, "Bro, I don't know anything about children. The things they say are so weird." Kind of like goblins. Devin with some hockey love in the chat. Yeah, go Lightning, but we got summarily removed from the playoffs this year, so oops and ouch. That's all right. You can't win it every year. Definitely look into a novice league, Devin. It's super fun. I'm so stoked about it. I'm playing a tournament this weekend with my team. We'll play up to 4 games between Friday and Saturday, so it's going to be a great time. First tournament I've ever been in. Weirdest hours, y'all. We're playing at like 12:30 a.m. Saturday, so Friday night, basically midnight Friday night. And then 1 p.m. Saturday, and then 12:30 a.m. Sunday, so basically Saturday night, and then maybe at 8 a.m. Sunday. It's going to be insane. Christian Sandoval, welcome in, my dude. Good to see you again. How have you been? What have you been up to? Other name, you said my son overheard when you read the first page and asked me, "What's arson?" That makes me really happy, other name. That's incredible. I love that. Devin, you said they'll be back next year. I can't even ice skate, but I want to watch. Hey, it's a great sport. As we say with hockey, it is the best sport with the worst league. Love the sport, hate the NHL. They mismanage everything. But we won't get into that. We're more positive around here. Devin, if you do want to play, dude, find a Learn to Skate league. There's a lot of them out there. Like my league that I play in is straight up for beginners. Like, you can walk onto the ice never having put on a pair of ice skates before, and we'll get you there. I'm honestly like one of the best players in the league now, which is not a brag. This is a league of people playing for their first time. But I just hang around because I enjoy coaching the new players up. and then seeing them graduate on to the next a higher league up. It's really fun. There's a lot of leagues like that. Misfit Mike, you say it's a crazy late puck drop. It is. It's because this is a citywide tournament, so all 5 ice rinks in the city are going to be booked out with teams playing every hour for the entire weekend. And we're the lowest competitive division, so we get the worst times. Isabel Knight on YouTube, you said you have a question. What's the best book font size for a book? I'm not sure, actually. I just go into Vellum, my formatting software, and I use its defaults and then modify it a little bit. So I'm not actually sure what font size we're using here. On audio or an ebook, you can change it obviously based on your e-reader. But looking at this book, man, it's probably 10 to 12 point font. I'm not sure. I'd have to pull up Vellum, and it's on my Mac, so I don't have access to it right now. To get you that answer. 10.5 Cambria, I'm not sure. Devin says 12 point. It's not something I've really looked at too much because I just use the default formats. I'm sorry, I can't answer that better. I guess it depends. Are we talking about formatting for published? Like, you know, what's going to be presented to the reader? Or are we talking a manuscript to send to an editor? Because if you're talking manuscript to send to an editor, it should be 12 point font, double spaced, Times New Roman, Arial, or Calibri. But that's just standard manuscript format. For actually formatting it for publishing, that's where it's going to vary. Christian Sandoval, you said, I've been doing good. I'm traveling through Texas down to Tennessee. Interesting. Oh, that's right. Wait, are you doing that for work? What's the reason for the trip? What's the occasion? Other name, you said your eyes are too small for 10 point. I feel you immensely. I write in 14 point font with like 200% zoom just to spare my eyes the trouble of it. When you stare at text all day, you need it big and easy to read. Yeah, Isabel, I will try to remember to look at Vellum and see what it recommends. Oh, you know, I could probably just Google it real quick. Okay, so basically, Vellum automatically sets font size based on your selected trim size of your book. Most of my books are 5 by 8 inches. That's standard paperback size. It says Vellum uses perceptual font sizing for a consistent appearance. For a 5 by 8 book, the actual size for Athalis, that's the font they use, begins at 10.5 point. But because this font is larger than most, it will have a perceptual size of 11 point. So that's a good answer. It looks like Vellum, which is the formatting software I use, uses 10.5 point font, but it looks like 11 point font because of the text itself. So it sounds like you're right in there, Isabel. And it says Atticus has better variety, but Vellum is nice too. Yeah, Vellum is Vellum's nice and super easy. Atticus, it looks like it gives you a little more freedom. But I just chose Vellum because it worked really nicely on Mac. Atticus is Windows, Vellum is Mac. Daniel Morgan on YouTube, or Daniel, I'm not sure if it's Daniel or Daniel Morgan. We got 2 of them. You said, I'm finally realizing I can listen with a locked phone on YouTube. I'm untethered. Well, congrats, man. That's nice. Lock it up and just sit there and enjoy. Glad to have you there. Christian, you said you're trucking. Not really your choice of profession. Christian, you're the second trucker we have in chat around here. Growing a little audience there. Well, I hope it's smooth travels through Texas and on to Tennessee. You'll see some nice countryside once you get up into Tennessee area. Depending what part of Texas you're in. If you're moving through West Texas, man, I apologize. It ain't great out there. All right, well, folks, let's do one more writing sprint. We've done a lot of chatting today because there's been a lot of good conversation, so I appreciate y'all asking me good questions, hanging out. It's fun. I always love chatting with you, answering book questions, writing, publishing, whatever it is. But we are here to write, so let's do one more writing sprint. Let's go ahead and get 5 minutes on that clock. Folks, oh, hold on real quick. Baum has shared the art she was working on Discord. So I would like to show that to y'all. There it is. And let's go to the art share channel. Whoa, Baum, that is intense. Quick textures for the clothes. Need to go back in and actually finish them. This is a candle come to life / spirit in a library. That's cool. Baum, that's very cool. The candle thing is almost creepy. It's so well done. That's very cool. Like the melting wax. Dude, that's nuts. I love the candle vibe. Look, maybe I'm wrong here, but is this intentionally looking like a candle flame, like the bottom of her dress? It kind of looks like a steady candle flame with the light glowing out from it. Boom, that's awesome. That face is wild, dude. The melting wax. That is crazy. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's super awesome, man. Any more art share that I missed? Nope. All right, so that's our art share update. Bound, thank you for sharing that with us. That's super cool. I love the candle effect in there. Daniel on YouTube says it's giving Zelda vibes, and he loves it. That's high praise. It's a super cool concept too. The candle, / like spirit, kind of like a candle spirit in a library. That sounds super cool. Boom, I love that. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you for letting me show it on stream. All right, and now we will do this writing sprint. Y'all, let's get one last one in here today. If you want to write along with me, you know what to do. Timer's going to be timing. Let's get these words on page. I wish you luck. Slindy, you can send your hearts whenever you want, man. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Slindy and Geogram, for re-upping on the stream team with the heart me. Appreciate you. Y'all, I'm going to lean on the chat here for some brainstorming. Just let me know if anything pops into your head on this. If you were a wizard professor, not in the Harry Potter sense, more in the Terry Pratchett sense of a kooky out there wizard professor, a bit of a spoof of an academic, what is something you would care a lot about? What's an achievement to you that feels meaningful? What's like something dramatic and grand that would win you acclaim in the world? That you would be pursuing. Let me know if anything comes to mind in there, because that's what I'm brainstorming at the moment, and I am coming up so very blank. There's got to be something there, though. There's got to be something. I feel like there is. Nova, you said a royal title. Okay, that's something. We can work with that. Other name, you said I'd never shut up about beating the Raccoon King in chess, or some other Gandalf-style quest. Okay, I do like that. Beating the Raccoon King in chess. That's incredible. Misfit Mikey, you said purifying a body of water that was drinking water for the village. That's a very noble goal there. How honorable of you, Misfit Mikey. I think these wizards are a little too petty for that. Karmatic, convincing a resident bad guy not to do bad guy things over tea. I do like that. I like that. That could be something. Slindy, you said making a new type of potion that no one has. That's kind of already in the story, Mike. Slindy, you're pretty spot on with that one. Baum having the ability to create wands. Interesting. Thank you, y'all. Can we make it a little more petty? I'm imagining these wizards as like having a lot of infighting and like pettiness, trying to one up each other within the academic sense. And so I feel like this objective should be something that's like dramatic to achieve, but also is being done not out of the goodness of their heart, but just to annoy a fellow rival, you know? Just be like, haha, I did it and you can't. I don't even care about it, except for the fact that I did it and you can't. Slendy making a hex that mildly annoys your worst enemy. Developing a strain of tea that slowly makes the drinker go bald. I've been hitting that tea, I guess. Leisha, you're thinking academic awards. Okay. Something like that. I could see that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the thoughts. I've written several down. I'm going to think on it off stream and see what we can... Daniel on YouTube says, I outdrank a troll once. I'm still feeling the effects 10 years later. Yeah, that's good. I like that. You're in the right mind, y'all. Thank you very much for the ideas. Develop a new strain of bacteria that only grows on lost homework scrolls. A spell that puts back together homework that was allegedly destroyed by the dog. Baum, you said take inspiration from the classic Emperor's New Clothes. What specifically with it? I know it's easier for me to read than it is for you to type. Slindy, you said stealing an award for your enemy got because they worked hard, but you tripped into it. Yeah, it's kind of what I was going for. Other name, used magic to create the theory of everything just to spite physicists. That's really funny. There could be something in that. Let me write that down. Use magic to prove scientific theory, but not through science to annoy scientists. I like that. That's a fun idea. Y'all, thank you for playing in the space with me. Okay, I see, Baum. I see where you're going with that. I gotta watch Emperor's New Groove again. That's such a good movie. Daniel, there's another good one. Don't use my quill next time and bend the tip. I love it. Y'all, thank you for playing in the space with me. I appreciate the brainstorming. I've got several written down there, and I'm going to see if one of them works their way into the novella. So once this is out, keep an eye out. You might see an idea that you put on stream here in the book. So thank you for that. Oh, Baum, did you put Emperor's New Clothes and I read New Groove? I am rightfully, I would say, obsessed with that movie. It's incredible. No, thank you for contributing ideas, y'all. This is a little bit of a brainstorming session here, and I appreciate that. I got some good ideas. I'm excited to go refine them and work them into the plot. So thank you for the help with that. That was fun. A little new today. Also, I just heard thunder outside, which is a bad sign. I love thunder personally. Don't mind me opening the window to take a peek. But but around here, our infrastructure is so bad every time it rains, the power goes out. So I think that thunder was a threat that I need to get off of stream before we start losing power. So, y'all, thank you for joining me today. Thanks for hanging out. That was a fun one. That was a very different stream. I had a good time today. Folks, if you're new here, thank you for joining. We're here every weekday at 7 a.m. Central Time. We're always doing something: writing, fantasy, book, who knows, creativity focused. But when the stream's over, hey, I just put it in chat here. Here's our Discord. Feel free to join us there. The community keeps rocking, even though the stream has to end at some point. You can also find it through the link in my bio. And y'all, just as a reminder, Wrinkly Little Hands, my comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip. The paperback's out. The ebook and the audiobook launch next Tuesday. So please grab a copy if it sounds interesting to you. I think it's good fun. I can't wait to write the follow-up book. But y'all, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Christian Sandoval, you said, what are the rules again? And can it be A? And then it cut off. Let me know. Finish that thought, and I'll take a look at it. Laura, you said, thank you, Alex. I love the chat. Been here almost a week, and I've gotten so much done. I'm so glad to hear that. That's what we're trying to do. Thank you for being here, Laura. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you for tuning in. Christian, I'll wait for your follow-up message, but in the meantime, let me give a quick read. A special thanks, as always, to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com for the use of his songs Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade, which have provided our background music today. As well, an extra special thank you to community member Raffi the Engineer, who made our 5th background song, Midnight at the Round Table. Raffi, appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much for that. It just started playing. I didn't do that. That was perfect timing. I love it. Thank you, Raffi, for that. Everyone else, thank you for being here today. It's been a pleasure having you. Like I said, if you've enjoyed this stream, give me a follow so I can catch you on the next one. I want to give a special shout out to everybody here with me right now. So thank you, Baum.ri, Carmatic, Harpy, Slindy, Geogrim, Raffi the Engineer, other name wasn't available, Sloyd, Alicia T, a lot of OGs in there, Christian Sandoval, Chris Lujanovic, Ian the Wizard GG, Ian, my man, good to have you, Michael Emerson and Graham, as well over on YouTube, Isabel Knight and Daniel, going as the username OneVoice92 at the moment. Thank you for tuning in with me, folks. I appreciate it. And I stretched long enough for Christian Sandoval to finish his question. He said, what are the rules again? Can it be morbid in a comedic way? Absolutely it can. Dark comedy is comedy all the same. So, folks, thank you for being with me. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central Time. Gonna have more fun. So thanks for hanging out with me. An absolute pleasure as always, y'all. The coffee is empty. The stream is done. Folks, have a great day. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Be good, y'all.